Hello guys, my name is White Apollo. Today I'm going to be doing Tommy's Loadout from The Last of Us Part 2. I decided to base this loadout off of No Return for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered game mode. I'm going to be starting off with the combat stem. With Tommy's loadout, he starts off with a medkit. I decided to do a syringe because that's the only healing item that he can start off with. He only starts off with a medkit to create so he can heal himself. That's it, really. A gas mask to help him survive against against infected areas with the spores from the cordyceps brain infection. So, bam, gas mask. I decided to not give him a melee weapon in this because of two reasons. Number one, he's often seen using his fists in combat. And number two, his loadout is based off being a sniper using long-range combat. So I decided to not give him a melee weapon at all at the start. I decided to do Tommy's pistol being the military strike-fired pistol. With this one, you can spray and pray with this because of the high ammo capacity. But it has decent iron sights and it's only good for close range combat. Oh, right, and also you could attach a laser on here if you want to. For this one, the TT-33, aka the sniper pistol. This pistol isn't great for spraying and parrying because of the single fed magazine. It only holds 8 rounds. As of this one only holds in 17 mags. 17 ammo in one clip. Besides, you're gonna have to be real precise with this one. You can't just spray and pray with this. It has good damage and high muzzle velocity though. And pretty good iron sights too. I decided to do a SVD for Tommy's sniper as opposed to the M14 because of the B rail mount. Because the scope was all the way in the front like this over where the iron sights are. It felt awkward to use for long range engagements. I think when I try to have get my head closer to it, I think the character's head would just like bind with the gun and it would just like stop me from moving. And it felt awkward trying to use the scope from right here. And it doesn't have a thumbstock in it. So I decided to switch over to this. This has a low ammo capacity of 10 as opposed to the M14 with a 20 round mag. And also a higher grade bullet of a 7.62x51 NATO as opposed to this one being used a 7.62x54R FMJ. I decided to use this one mostly because the B-rail mount is closer to the eye as opposed to being right fucking here. And also it has a thumbstock, wooden thumbstock, so I can't complain about that. And you can pretty much just find this ammo comment about in the radius in early to late game sections. As for 7.62x51, NATO is harder to find in the early stages, and I think it's rare to come across it in the later stages of the game. I decided to give it a negative 30% recoil upgrade on here. And it's pretty good. Like, I can take multiple shots from a range And I could pretty much just fire from range and like still be on target and have like a small hop up. I'll show you here what I mean by that. Oh, I think that's why, because the shot. Damn it. Sorry about that. Okay. As you can see there, I was having like a little hop up, and now and then I would mostly get back on target with a negative 30% recoil. Because with Tommy's rifle and long range, he had like some recoil, but it wasn't too much in the flashback scene with Tommy. So I decided to implement that in Tommy's sniper rifle. When using this against armored enemies, it's typically going, most of the time, being 3 shots to kill armored enemies with this. Maybe 2 if you're trying to hit them in the head, and 4 when you're trying to hit fragments, armored fragments to be precise. And this was just with using full metal jacket rounds. I didn't use armored piercing for this. I mean, I did when I found this out while I was exploring the radius, but with my main testing with FMJ, it just took mainly 3 shots. And yes, I did headshot a slider with this. Don't worry, it's a 1-shot kill in the head. And you could just like pretty much spam fire this bitch from the hip to kill the slider, so don't worry. It's a somewhat good panic weapon with 10 rounds, but be careful of your itchy trigger finger if you're trying to do controlled panic shots. And besides, you could take off the scope and somewhat use the rear iron sights with the B-rail mount. You could somewhat use the B-rail mount rear sights, somewhat. So, yeah. It's a pretty good sniper rifle, has good long range and damage. The only problem here that I would note is mostly the high optic zoom if you do plan to take the sniper scope with you, and the low ammo capacity of just 10 rounds. Other than that, that's it. Just play smart with this when you're having a high powered DMR, and you'll be alright. And bring extra mags and ammo. And this is what I've scavenged throughout my time in the late game for Into the Radius and Kolkhoz, being mostly the greenhouse area right here, and this area as well, I think. But mainly just the... Nope, it was just mainly the greenhouse area, I think. I think I fought against some guys here, but all I did was just mainly fought and looted here in the greenhouse, came and fight some enemies, and went back to home base, which is here, basically. And this is what I've collected so far. A Graza with the underbarrel grenade launcher and a magazine for it. 9x39 millimeter full metal jacket and armor piercing. 3 documents right here. Secret documents, mind you. A frag grenade. A regen artifact. Some sort of like sample container. No, portable tank. Right. A syringe. A weather detector. Shard. A artifact. Desert Eagle magazine. 2 full boxes of FMJ rounds of 25 rounds of 357 Magnum, a tape recorder, 7.62 by 54R surplus in AP, a camera, 3 knives, and an AK-74. As opposed to Ellie and Abby's loadouts generally having a lot of firepower, but sacrificing the ability to loot a lot of shit. As opposed to Tommy's loadout, you can just start off in green and you can just loot a lot of this shit for Into the Radius and get good money. If you know what you're doing, of course. Tommy's loadout is good for if you're wanting to go on scavenge runs, as opposed to Ellie and Abby's loadout being in the gray area, I think in 25 or maybe even 20 kilograms if you're lucky, to shave some of that weight off and be able to carry only a handful of items with you. Mostly because of the 2 long guns and the 2 extra pistols and magazines and ammo and shit, that all adds up. As opposed with Tommy's though, if you're planning to just carry 1 pistol and a long gun, gas mask and all this shit, you'll be, I think, around 7 or 8 kilograms. But you'll be sacrificing the wide versatility of firepower, because the only terms in highest firepower they got is the SVD or the Tiger rifle with a high zoom optic and low ammo capacity of 10 shots before needing to reload. 10 plus 1. And just pistols with low damage, maybe depending on the type of caliber that you're using. The ammo type and the caliber. Generally for Tommy, you want to play this as a sniper. You can't go in there expecting to be like Rambo from the movies and just hold a machine gun and just tear the enemy base to smithereens. No, you're gonna have to play this as a sniper. You're gonna have to play smart and tactical about this because of the limited firepower and the limited access for close range combat. Besides the pistol and the DMR, you generally cannot afford being against the enemy in close range combat. Which is why good tips for Tommy when playing as a sniper, you generally always want to make sure that you have a backup exit. It's not really mandatory with the 2 loadouts that I've shown you, but it's definitely necessary for this loadout. Take for example, if I'm just sniping some enemies while killing them out over by this train car door over here, there's a shit ton of enemies. I would generally, if I have a smoke grenade or a frag grenade, I would just get out of my backpack, throw it, and go and fall back, get to cover, fall back, peek shooting if I need to, go behind some cover here, maybe start having peek shoots, and generally you want to make sure that you always have a escape route in mind at the back of your head or the back of your hand if you want to. But generally, you definitely want to make sure that you play smart with this loadout and always make sure that you have a mandatory backup exit or a relocation position that you can fall back to with Tommy's loadout. It's never a good idea to fight in close quarters areas, generally in factories, warehouses, and buildings and shit. Mostly because of your high zoom optic and the pistols. If you got shit ammo type being cheap and a full metal jacket in the later stages. Generally with Tommy, you want to play this with long range combat because of the high damage DMR that you have. It's semi-auto, a good ammo capacity of 10 shots, high zoom optic. You generally want to play this in long range as opposed to close range combat. Always use cover. Make sure that you always have a escape route in mind or relocation position to fall back onto. Play smart with this, and you'll be alright. Maybe you can try and even the odds out and be viable for close range to medium range engagements if you find a gun, a magazine, at least one magazine, and like the ammo type for it. That is if you have your cleaning kit, or assuming that you find one and it's in good condition, like somewhat repairable condition, being like yellow, and you can repair it out. And with a good magazine capacity and whatever ammo type that you find. And you have good aim. Generally, if you do not have those, generally if you don't have a cleaning supply on you, or if you can't repair a shit gun, if it's in like the brown states, this is in a very good condition being in blue. But if your guns have, if you find a gun that's generally, let's say, in shit beyond repair, do not bring it. You're better off just using a DMR and a pistol. You may as well just like fucking hit someone with a club at that point, or just throw it. But generally, being serious about this, you have to play smart with this loadout and fight from long range. I have killed armored enemies with this. It takes around 2 to 3 shots, maybe 4 shots if you're, well, no, 4 shots if you're only going up against armored fragments, and this was just with Full Metal Jacket 7.62 by 54R. Against sliders, I just killed him 1 in the head. That's all I needed. Generally for Tommy's playstyle, you have to play as a extreme sniper, and you definitely can loot around if you want. You can definitely loot around because of the light weight that he has on his backpack, being in green of 8 or 7 kilograms. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's it. Right, sorry. Fight from long range combat. Always make sure to have a backup exit or relocation position you can fall back to, and use cover, and you should be fine. And play it smart. So next video I'm going to be doing is the signalist. Wait, no. The next video that I'm going to be doing is showcasing off the upgraded versions of Abby and Ellie's guns and the special weapons. I'll try and see if I can compensate for Ellie's bow and Abby's crossbow. If not, I'll just rock it without it. I'll see if I can try and compensate for Abby's lack of a flamethrower, if I can. I hope you guys have a great day out there. Be safe. This is your gaming sniper, White Apollo, signing off.